this is Cindy from Smellum Goodies Bath and Body Bistro. We're back today making a rose clay and charcoal facial bar. For our fragrance, we are using tea tree essential oil, lavender, and Litsea. Makes a wonderful combination. I don't particularly like the smell of tea tree on its own, so I find that the Litsea, which has a lemon zing, and the lavender really tone that down but make it a lovely fragrance. Okay, I have my oils and my pre-mixed lye water ready to go. They're at about 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and you'll notice that the lye water looks a little cloudy, and the reason for that is because I have added 3 ounces of coconut milk in frozen cube form to add to my lye, or actually add the lye to the coconut milk frozen, and then top that off with the rest of the liquids that I'm using. They are ready to go, so we will grab our stick blender, burp it so we get all the air out, and we will slowly pour the lye solution down the shaft of the blender so we don't have lye going anywhere that we don't want it to. All right, I'm just going to give this a quick stir before I start the blender, and here we go. Almost at emulsion. We'll give it another quick stir with the blender. And I think that is plenty good enough, so we will just stop right here and divide our batter into 2 batches. Stick blender aside, and we'll divide this batter. I didn't quite get that half and half, but that's not a problem. We can sort that out. Just see how that goes. That's just about right, I'd say. So the first color that I'm going to be working with, and the first color that we'll be putting down, is our activated charcoal. I'm using activated charcoal by Nurture Soap Supply today, and I'm going to just add this in a little at a time. We want to add enough that it turns a nice black. Now, in order to not forget my fragrance oil, I always put my fragrance oil container right down into my mold so I don't ever forget. And we're going to put about half of this in and save the other half for our rose clay portion. I'm going to give this a quick stir to incorporate the fragrance oil by hand. We will not use the stick blender on this. We want a very even batter, so I am whisking it pretty vigorously. Perfect. All right. Now, here we go. Into the mold. We're going to have to kind of plop it in. While we get on with our pink batter. Now this is really thickened up on me. But again, I'm not too terribly concerned. Now that is pretty thick indeed, but let's get that up. Quick stir. That helps to loosen it up most times. All right, now I'm going to carefully add the rose clay. I just want this to be a fairly light pink. I don't want it to be real dark. A little bit more than that. Let's try that. I love rose clay for facial masks and even in bath bombs and things like that, but it is real easy to go overboard on the quantity and get it a little bit too dark so it looks a little more red than pink, but you can get just the right color. All right, now keep this out for just a moment. Make sure I have all of the plain batter mixed up and has rose clay in it. All right, fragrance oil in. That'll be the true test right here. Yes, I'm very carefully working that down into the batter. We don't want to splash any of that wonderful essential oil out. Now give it a quick whisk. And I think we are ready to go. All right, bring our bowl mold back into view, and I'm going to carefully pour this in. Now, if I plop it in, I may run the risk of breaking through that black layer, and that is not something that we want. So I poured that over the top of my spatula just to try to minimize that risk. This is a very thick soap batter recipe that I am using, and we did discount the water a little bit. The coconut milk does have a tendency to heat that batter up, and I would prefer that we don't end up with any volcanoes or cracking or anything like that. And the downside of that is you sacrifice a little bit of working time. Okay, now made a little bit of a mess here, so we will just try to push that down on into the mold. I'm going to give that a quick bang. Not too concerned about the top being smooth. I'm going to put a little texture on here, but hopefully this will be enough. No, it's still a little bit soft. I think we're going to let that sit for just a couple of minutes, and we'll bring you back in and we'll finish up with a nice swirl.